London Bridge is falling down. That could be the case of LA Rams quarterback Case Keenum after his performance today in England. A sold-out Twickenham Stadium built back in 1909, the Englanders fired up because they don't have to watch the Jaguars for once. The Rams defense also fired up. Larry Donald coughs up the football, scooped and returned deep into G-men territory by E.J. Gaines. LA in business, and then Case Keenum time. Had his best game of his career last Sunday against the Lions, looking good here, on target to Tavon Austin, but that would be the last touchdown this offense could muster, and that best game from last week turned into one of Keenan's worst performances. This here tipped into the arms of Landon Collins, and this could be one of the most slow but best plays I've seen all season. The former Alabama standout. He's tripping, but staying on his feet somehow, duking, dodging, diving, and scoring. What a play by the Giants defense. They get 4 Keenan interceptions. This one, the worst of them all, a shake your head moment from the former Houston Cougar. Just going to toss this up with less than a minute to go. That will finish the ball game. 17-10, Eli Manning gets the victory. Rams fall to 3-4 now this season, and questions about the future at the quarterback position.
Quarterback's not the reason, by the way, that we lost 3 games. So, I'm staying with Case. I thought he played, he had a couple tips and things like that today, not necessarily his fault. And then Brian didn't get the audible adjustment at the end. Jared's going to play when we feel Jared's ready, And I know you would, had we won this game, you wouldn't have been asking about Jared. Okay.
Well, from a defense battle to an offensive showcase from the Georgia Dome, the Chargers looking for road win number 1 visiting Peachtree. And it did not look good early. This connection has been killer all season. Matt Ryan deep to Julio Jones. He finishes with 174 yards. They finish the drive and find themselves up 17 points on the San Diego Superchargers. But here they come bolting back before the half. Melvin Gordon, 3 trips to the end zone, one of them there and another here through the air. Phillip Rivers fins them, and it's a 3-point ball game. Then the defense stepping up. Less than 4 minutes to go, and Ryan is intercepted by Denzel Perryman. The offense turns into the 3 points here, and we're going to overtime. And after a big 4th down stand, this was for the game winner from Josh Lambeau, 42 yards. It is up and good, and the Chargers get win number 1 on the road, 2 in a row, 33-30 against the Dirty Birds. Switching to the big leagues, and one more series left to decide a World Series champion. After all the excitement last night in Chi-Town, it will be the Cubs and the Indians in a historic matchup. 1968 for Cleveland and 1908 for the Cubs. This thing begins Tuesday at 5 p.m. with Game 1. Should probably be starting at Wrigley, but the American League beat the National League in San Diego back in July, so it'll be the Indians with the home field advantage. And finally, a quick look at the high school football standings in the DVL Conference heading here into Week 9 of the season. It's looking like La Quinta will finish up with the title for Coach Dan Armstrong in his final season. They will win one of the next 2, and they will clinch a piece. And in the De Anza League, Rancho Mirage is well on their way to a title in their final season before joining the DVL next year. 3-0 record and finish with 1-2 Desert Hot Springs and winless Desert Mirage. We will, of course, have all the highlights and scores on the best local sports show Friday night. That's it for sports. You're watching Local 2 News. We stand for you. A surprising move to many fans, but one that needed to be made. Cubs manager Joe Maddon starting Addison Russell in place of 3-time All-Star Starlin Castro. Maddon told the media earlier that it was not an off day for Castro, but keeping Kyle Schwarber in the lineup and bats hot is exactly what the Cubs need as they push forward in the race for a wild card spot. Alabama baseball had their first midweek game this week and came out on top against Nicholls State. And the hot topic right now seems to be the freshmen. They had a great series against Maryland this past weekend and again tonight. Specifically, Chandler Taylor, who had 5 hits tonight, which ties with an Alabama record. I had the opportunity to talk to him after the game, and he told me that his energy, him and Kobe Vance's energy, it's just a byproduct of them helping their team. Losing streak no more as the White Sox win in walk-off fashion thanks to a Gordon Beckham home run in the bottom of the 11th. After an 0-5 road trip, a quick home series win is exactly what the team needed before heading to Minneapolis tonight. It's a day for all ages as Alabama hosts their first annual alumni game here at the brand new Sewell Thomas Stadium. Former Alabama players and their families had the opportunity to tour the stadium and take BP before the alum took on the 2016 team.
Well, this is pretty spectacular. I mean, I can't believe the turnout. I mean, just seeing all the guys I played with, some guys that played before me, some guys that been played after me is pretty amazing. Just driving up here, I was kind of amazed on the whole stadium, seeing it for the first time, and it's pretty special. I've been looking for Jim Wells, my old coach, so I'm looking out for him. I'd like to see him today.
Catching up and seeing where guys are, I've talked to guys through the years and tried to keep up and see where they are 20 years later. And just, we're all coming to a common place where we go, man, that was good. Sometimes you don't enjoy it when you're doing it, but when you look back, those were some good times.
It's overwhelming, really. It is, because it's the end of a really long road that started a long time ago for a lot of us, and it's more than just an unveiling of a new stadium. It is it's bringing back so many guys that haven't been back here in so long.
So to come in this place and see the box seats and the luxury boxes and the 525 club it's pretty phenomenal. It's what a change. It's a testament to the hard work of a lot of people.
Having seen the old stadium and being in here as a player, for so many years and as a coach, certainly this atmosphere is much more fan friendly. I think it gives a real connection to our fans and our players, and so the beauty of it is it's like nothing I've ever seen at the college level.
It's amazing. I hope this will be an annual thing, because obviously the support here is tremendous.
No matter the outcome, it was a win for everyone, seeing former teammates and playing the game they love. At the brand new Sewell Thomas Stadium for Tide TV, I'm Mackenzie Alcorn. It's rivalry week as Alabama Gymnastics takes on the Auburn Tigers this Friday night. Although this is the second time the teams will be meeting this season, head coach Dana Duckworth says she doesn't worry about all the rivalry chatter. She just wants her team to stay in what they call their Bama bubble. Standout freshman Kobe Vance dreamed of following in his father's footsteps by playing collegiate baseball. His obvious talent, both offensively and defensively, was recognized by Coach Gaspard right off the bat. But it was because of Kobe's father's military service that he was able to use those talents at Alabama.
I hear a sound of a bat on field 2 that sounded different than most of them. Kind of as I turn my shoulder, I see a ball going through the light standards. 1, he was a good player, but 2, he was different. He had a certain air and energy about him that can lift guys.
Kobe's talent had Coach Gaspard hooked, but it was because of his eligibility to receive the Yellow Ribbon Scholarship that he was able to sign Kobe within 72 hours of meeting him.
It helped out a lot, when the colleges were recruiting Kobe, we didn't want to let them know about Yellow Ribbon and GI Bill.
Due to his deployments while Kobe was younger, Sergeant Major Vance wasn't able to watch his son develop as a player. But now as a freshman in college, he watches Kobe every chance he gets.
Yeah, he was here Maryland weekend, and then he come almost every weekend in the fall. And he watch on ESPN app.
I always kind of live through him, so the things that he does, I'm living vicariously through him.
Phillip Vance was recognized in Game 1 of the Houston series at Sewell Thomas Stadium, the very stadium his sacrifice allowed Kobe to play at. And when asked if Kobe had anything to say to his dad.
Thank you for everything they've done, getting me here, and just being the best that they can to put me where I am.
Mackenzie Alcorn was there all weekend and has the recap of the historic weekend.
A brand new stadium and an opening series win as the Tide pushes past Maryland, taking the first series of the season 2-1.